I'm interrupting this video with a brief mid-roll promotion. I wanted to talk to you guys about readings. I'm currently doing natal chart readings and interpretations. So if you would like a personalized video reading that is private and only sent to you, covering your personality, your talents, as well as your financial astrology, and then your destiny or your soul's purpose, which would be based on the North Node placement and the rulers of that, then check the email in my description, which is readings@astroseri.com, and go ahead and send me an email if you would be interested in booking a reading. I also offer aspect table readings, meaning all of the aspects that are in your chart and what they mean. And finally, I offer synastry readings, which is about love and compatibility. For the most part, everybody that I've done a reading has been amazed with the results and has greatly benefited, at least half of whom have left a donation after the reading to show their appreciation, or have purchased a second reading for somebody else or for additional questions that they had. Now, my readings go in depth, so it is not for the faint of heart. So if you do not want to know how you really are based on your chart, then the readings are not for you. If you would like an interpretation of your chart by me, then definitely feel free to send an email. Let me know which type of reading that you're interested in, and we will work things out from there. With that being said, let's get back into the topic of this video. Thank you. Today we'll be talking about the meaning of Mars in Virgo and what this placement means for you if you have it in your chart. Mars shows what motivates us, how we take action, how we accomplish tasks, and how we pursue our desires. Mars in Virgo shows somebody with a practical and down-to-earth approach to doing things. They also have a need for physical activity as a part of their lifestyles to feel at their best, because Mars is about being physical and Virgo is about habits, health, and routine. Generally speaking, Virgo is about tasks and accomplishing things, and those with Mars in Virgo have a need to physically accomplish things. Those with Mars in Virgo, born with it, are highly effective people, preferring a 100% success rate when attempting things. A lot of unseen reasoning goes behind their actions that people are not aware of, especially reasoning revolving details, tasks, and controlled variables. Generally, those with Mars in Virgo are intelligent workers with a focus on efficiency. Mars in Virgos tend to be routinely oriented, enacting a consistent and predictable approach to their goals. Generally speaking, these can be quite busy individuals, jumping from task to task. Since Virgo is about stress or worry, these are the sorts of people that want to act on their stresses or on their worries. They have this compulsion to solve things that stress them out. So in that sense, stress, deadlines, and tasks actually compel them to act. They are impulsive about such things. So when Mars in Virgo starts to feel more stressed, they actually start to become more impulsive and more active. So this is a good placement for energy and productivity. Mars in Virgo can find it hard to sit still. Once in a routine, they tend to stay in motion for long periods of time. Now, I'm not saying that they don't sleep at all, but in general, Virgo is all about worry, productivity, and staying busy. It is the opposite of the sign Pisces, which is about rest, spirituality, and relaxation. These individuals are not motivated by possibilities and imagination, but rather by practical objectives and deadlines. These are the workers of the Zodiac, and this placement can be one that shows a predisposition to insomnia, especially in periods of imbalance or overwork. They are really good at knocking down tasks, and Mars and Virgo people just need to know the specifics of what is needed to be done, because improvisation and guesswork is not their forte, and they will always have a tendency to do things in a literal manner, because Virgo is about being specific. And Virgo is a sign ruled by Mercury, so when working with a Mars in Virgo, information and communication is very important. And same with when they accomplish tasks. A lot of times, this placement shows people that like to keep lists of things that they need to do, or they like to write down information that will help them on their goals. So they're good strategizers. With that being said, we're going to talk about what this placement means through each of the houses. So let's go ahead and get into it. If you have Mars in Virgo in the first house, this is about appearance and physical activity. First of all, first house makes somebody goal-oriented, and those with Mars in Virgo generally like to keep busy and uphold a routine, especially when it's in the first house. These are very active individuals needing physical exertion, and often this need for exertion manifests as an emphasis on their physique or on their health. Mars also tends to give strength and a muscular physique when it's in the first house. If you have Mars in Virgo in the second house, this is about possessions and resources. Mars in Virgo here is motivated by worth and by their values. These are not much of risk takers, and they need to know the implications and the outcome of something before they jump into something. Generally speaking, they are quite resourceful, liking to solve problems with the use of resources rather than on physical labor. And Mars in the second house can show a tendency for complacence or procrastination, because if something doesn't align to their values or to pleasure, they may not feel motivated to do that thing. That is why finances really motivates them better than other things. They do best when they have an accountability partner, or when they pay for things to get done, or when they use their resources to accomplish things. So they need to work smart and not hard in order to overcome this tendency to sometimes be comfortable or complacent. Because Mars in Virgo in the second house can sometimes show a tendency to get too comfortable in one's routine and to experience stagnancy. And that's because the second house is a fixed earth house, and Mars does not like to be here, being the ruler of the opposite house, which is the 8th house. And it's all about motivation, lack, drive. Next, we have the third house. This is about the mind and communication. Mars in Virgo here shows an emphasis on strategy. People with Mars in Virgo in the third house are master strategizers with an ability to dissect long-term objectives. They like to seek out and act on obvious opportunities, coupons, discounts, deals. They are usually quick to act on stuff like that. And when it comes to communication, Mars shows that they are generally sharp and straightforward communicators. Their mind is always driven towards some sort of goal, which is usually taking into account a bunch of information or details and statistics that they are balancing in their mind, or that they are creating a strategy around how to accomplish that goal. Next, if you have Mars in Virgo in the 4th house, this is about comfort and familiarity. These individuals that have Mars in Virgo in the 4th house are compelled by routine and maintaining order. They tend to stay in a certain pattern of doing things and want to live a lax and emotionally fulfilling lifestyle. They like to make time for personal interests and projects first and foremost, as those are the types of things that they are more inspired by. And generally, they're just motivated by upholding responsibilities and maintaining order in their life, rather than being motivated by worldly ambitions and external goals. And that's because the 4th house is all about comfort, fulfillment, and what feels good. So they're motivated by security and comfort and doing things that they care about or that they personally like. They need to find something that they care about in order to become more quote-unquote productive or more active, because they may struggle with the concept of goals and ambition, because the opposite house rules ambitions. The 10th house is about success, discipline, and hard work. So having Mars here in the 4th house can show difficulty doing things when they don't feel like doing it. However, that may not be their purpose or their goal, because this placement shows that when somebody cares about something, they're very invested into it. And namely, they're very invested into their home life, into taking care of their children and their family, and running errands, and like any type of home responsibility. They're very great at those things. Next, if you have Mars and Virgo in the 5th house, this is about validation and appreciation. These individuals that have Mars here in the 5th house in Virgo feel compelled to accomplish work or acts of service that will bring value to others or be noticed by others. They can also have practiced performance skills as well. They can have certain skills or talents that came with practice, because Virgo is all about repetition. And when Mars is in the 5th house, this is an indicator of talent or capabilities that stand out or that can be used to perform in some craft or in some goal. Generally speaking, in all scenarios of life, they have a desire to be high performers. And those that have Mars and Virgo in the 5th house have a general desire to do things well. And they can be also quite competitive about their performance. This placement usually denotes physical capabilities or athletic capabilities, like I was saying, particularly ones involving skill or practice. If you have Virgo Mars in the 6th house, this is about routine and lifestyle. And the general meanings of Mars and Virgo that we covered earlier in the video at the beginning will tend to resonate more strongly, because the 6th house is the house of Virgo. And these are strongly objective-oriented individuals that have this placement with an emphasis on specific outcomes. They will tend to do things and want to accomplish a very, specific goal whenever they do something, and have a calculated or strategic approach. Now, since Mars is about physical exertion, exercise, activity, having it in the 6th house, which is about routine or lifestyle, would tend to show somebody that lives an active lifestyle with an element of physical exercise to it. And they will usually make physical exercise a part of their routine at some point, and at various points throughout their life. These individuals are generally work and task oriented, because the 6th house is about our work life. And they spend a lot of their time upholding agreements or just keeping up with responsibilities or keeping their lives in order and making sure things progress. They can have a passion for improving their efficiency. If they don't dedicate themselves to a master objective or like to a greater goal in life that encompasses all their tasks, they may find themselves doing a lot of things but accomplishing nothing, because Virgo can be all about routine, and the 6th house is also about routine, and it's a mutable sign, which is all about being scattered and adapting to things. So a lot of times having Mars and Virgo in the 6th house shows that if they don't have a master plan or like a greater direction that they want to go in life, they can get comfortable with their routine, and they can live a life where they realize that they're just reacting to things all the time and reacting to new responsibilities, but not going anywhere in terms of a greater direction, if that makes any sense. And that's just because of having this double Virgo energy, this very mutable, scattered, task-oriented, work-oriented energy. Next, if you have Mars and Virgo in the 7th house, this is having to do with how you relate to others. And Mars and Virgo in the 7th house show somebody that is motivated to be of service to others. They are also quite adaptable to the needs of others and are usually quite interpersonally involved in the lives and the objectives of somebody else, because the 7th house is about other people and it's about our relationships. When alone, Mars and Virgo in the 7th house feels less motivated, but when they have an accountability partner or somebody that they work with and that gives them objectives, they feel a lot more motivated, because now they know what to do. And Mars and Virgo needs to know the specifics of what they need to accomplish in order to act on it. And when Virgo's in the 7th house, this shows that the specifics usually come from somebody else. And this could manifest as their work life as well. So their work life can involve an element of accountability. They may spend a lot of their time reacting to problems rather than being self-directed. They do best in situations of partnership or accountability when it comes to accomplishing things or being active or accomplishing their goals. Next, we have Mars and Virgo in the 8th house. This is about motivation, and the 8th house represents things that are out of our control, and it's sometimes about negativity too. Mars likes to be in the 8th house because he feels very motivated, and this placement of Mars in Virgo shows a highly motivated individual who constantly feels the need to stay productive. They like to break down their goals into smaller, accomplishable steps and are relentless until they achieve them. They can be obsessive over their tasks and directives. They can't help but to be productive at times, as it is more of an emotional impulse. This placement of Mars in Virgo in the 8th house is like a regular Mars in Virgo, but with more drive and heavier implications. There can be a tendency to overwork themselves or experience overload because tasks can feel out of their control, or they can manifest situations where they're overloaded with a lot of tasks, or they take on more than what they can handle. They end up handling it though, but it can be very taxing on their energy. Also, they have recurring urges and have a need for regular sexual release because Virgo is about routine. The 8th house is also about sexuality and drive. So these are very driven, motivated people in general with a high sex drive as well. Next, we have the 9th house. Mars in Virgo in the 9th house shows somebody who is motivated to increase their productivity because Mars shows what we're motivated by. And the 9th house is about increase. It's also about knowledge. So these are highly inspired individuals that seek the knowledge in order to improve their efficiency or their success and to accomplish more things. Throughout life, they're just accomplishing more and more successes because it is not enough for these individuals to just be productive. They actually want to learn how to improve their efficiency and take things to the next level over time. Their actions are guided by practical knowledge and philosophy, and they have big dreams and are inspired to accomplish a lot of goals. Because the 9th house placement of Mars shows somebody that's naturally inspired in a lot of different fields or like a lot of different interests. And Virgo can also be about health and wellness. So having Mars here in the 9th house can show a desire or an inspiration towards improving their health and their wellness. And they generally all want to live well-rounded and abundant lifestyles. Next, we have the 10th house placement of Mars in Virgo. If you have Mars in Virgo in the 10th house, this shows that you're an ambitious individual who invests a lot of their energy towards responsibilities and their career. You are driven workers, but at the same time, you guys have a need for there to be a bigger objective to your work than just the work itself. You guys need to feel like you are climbing the ranks or have a sense of direction in your career. And once you find that career, that position, you like to dedicate yourself towards making it a routine or like towards working at it every day. But there needs to be job growth or something like that. And essentially, they need to be doing things that matter or for what they are doing to advance them professionally. Because the 10th house is about doing things that matter and it's about leaving a legacy. Also, Virgo is about health and routine and lifestyle. So you guys that have this placement could be public about your health or your wellness goals, or this could be a part of your career because Mars is about physical things. It's about exercise and activity, and Virgo is about health. So having it in the 10th house of reputation or position or career can show somebody that is a trainer or somebody that's just public about their own fitness or their own personal progress. And when you guys do have a health routine, you guys tend to want to publish your progress because in a way that's how you make it matter. And having things that matter, that leave an image or a legacy is what motivates your Mars placement. Next, we have Mars and Virgo in the 11th house. This is about collective service. These individuals are constantly optimizing their lives and productivity that have Mars and Virgo in the 11th house. They are usually quite intelligent and inventive in their approach to routine and to their lifestyle. The 11th house shows that they're humanitarian and enjoy working for the good of a greater cause. And what motivates them and how they can find more motivation is being able to accomplish a goal as part of a group or for the greater good of a group, because the 11th house is all about groups. These individuals are all about making progress and meaningful change in the world through hard work and making practical improvements. They are motivated by group work or participation. So that's the hack that they need to use to motivate themselves. And they are inspired by unique or unconventional personal interests because the 11th house is about our individuality. So having Mars here can show somebody that's into a lot of different things. And there's like a lot of possibilities for where they direct their energy because the 11th house is very broad and it's about very unique interests and groups that we are a part of. Generally speaking, these individuals that have Mars in Virgo in the 11th house like to make time for friends and extracurricular activities, especially activities where there is a shared objective, because Mars is about going in a direction and the 11th house is about how we participate in the collective or how we participate with others on this earth. So Mars shows that there needs to be like a goal or a directive in their friend groups or in the things that they're a part of in order to feel motivated or in order to want to participate. Last but not least, we have Mars in Virgo in the 12th house. This placement and those that have it are motivated to materialize a dream. Virgo Mars shows somebody that is a worker and wants to be productive. And the 12th house represents inspiration, spirituality, dreams, and creativity. It's also about the subconscious and our connection to the universe. It's about the connection of all things and how we gain inspiration. And it's all about the things that are not tangible yet, things that have not been realized or materialized in the physical plane. Usually this placement shows that these individuals will be artistic in some sense, and they also have at least one spiritual activity or interest that they partake in, and it perhaps is one related to the body or to the muscles, because Mars is about physical exertion. So for example, this could be things such as yoga, stretching, or qigong, or some activity like that. Can be even like martial arts or something related to spirituality. The mind, the body, and the spirit are very connected, so they find their spiritual expression through physical activity. So as I was saying, there is also something imaginative or artistic about them and the way that they do things. And usually they have this attention to detail that is very artistic. Sometimes these individuals just have a need to do mindless or repetitive activities in order to relax themselves or relax their mind. Because the 12th house is about relaxation and spirituality, and Mars is about movement. And when it's in Virgo, this is about staying busy or active. So they love tasks where they can zone out and just do it subconsciously and relax themselves. They can just enjoy doing things with no objective sometimes. Ultimately, though, it does show somebody that is motivated to materialize a dream or some sort of imagination, something coming from inspiration. And so this is a big placement that shows artists. With that being said, that wraps up this video on Mars in Virgo. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, then don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more content. If you would like a personalized natal chart reading video that is private and delivered to you, then check the link in the description to my website, astroseri.com, and book a reading. Grab your tea, grab your popcorn, and get ready to sit back and learn more about yourself. With that being said, also check out my Patreon if you'd like to tune into my weekly podcast. And other than that, I appreciate you guys watching and supporting in any way that you do. And I'll talk to you guys sometime soon in another video. Peace.